Hi, everybody. I am thrilled to be here with Lisa D'Appolito, and she is doing a film called Love Gilda about the great Gilda Radner. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
Hey Rob, I'm great. How are you?
Very well. You're in New York. I'm in Toronto, so I feel all international and stuff. So that's fun. I wonder if you could tell me how you came to do this film.
Well, I had been I'm a filmmaker and I had been volunteering at Gildas Club in New York
Hmm.
City, which is a nonprofit cancer support organization. And I realized that there's a deep connection to Gilda. I mean, to go back a little bit,
Sure.
Gildas Club is founded by Gilda's husband, Gene Wilder, and Joanna Bull, and many other dedicated people. So the image of when you walk into Gilda's Club, you see the images of Gilda, Gilda as Roseanne, Rosanna
Yeah.
Dana, and there's just something very magical about the place. And you would think it would be a depressing place for people with cancer, but it's the total opposite.
It is an amazing place. I'm a cancer survivor myself. I've been to Gilda's in Toronto a bunch of times, and the spirit there, it's so fun and it's so positive, and there's so much incredible support. It's yeah, it's an amazing resource for people going through cancer.
So I realized that a lot of the members, when I would interview them for videos for
Hmm.
Gilda's Club, would talk about Gilda as if they
Yeah,
were a friend. So
yeah.
in some ways, Gilda felt very present. So I had remembered watching Gilda when I was a kid on Saturday Night Live, but I wasn't per se a fan.
Yeah.
And so I went on kind of what I call the Gilda journey to learn
Wow.
more about her. And everything I've learned is more than amazing.
Yeah. What's one of the favorite qualities that she had that you admire?
I think she was so giving and so approachable
Hmm.
to people.
Hmm.
I mean, when I interviewed many of her friends, Gilda was so open. She would meet people on the plane and she would get to know them, and then she
Yeah.
would give them advice, and then she would
Yeah.
give them their card. Recently, somebody emailed me because they were going to see Gilda live, and they had lost her tickets. Gilda
Oh,
live
wow. A
way.
legendary show, right? Gilda Live on Broadway. It was huge.
And they called the box office, and she picked up the phone.
Wow.
And then of course she talked to them. She invited them backstage. She said, "Don't worry about the tickets." And
Wow.
that's kind of the person Gilda was.
That's incredible. That's an amazing story. One of the things I loved about her too is her courage in doing comedy, just her bravery. She really, and this is kind of an overused phrase, but in Gilda's case, it's so true. She really broke new ground, particularly for women in comedy. And I think today we kind of take for granted what you can do, and how expressive you can be and how different you can be. And Gilda really did that. I think particularly for women. And she really, I think, paved the way for a lot of the women who are doing tremendous work these days.
Well, that's what's been interesting during my Indiegogo campaign right now. I'm trying to raise money for the film,
Yeah, absolutely.
and the Facebook fan page has about 7,000 members,
Wow.
which is really great. And many of them, a majority, because you can see the demographics, are people 55 and older.
Yeah.
But I started to go on Twitter, and
Uh-huh.
the Twitter following is absolutely different. It's
Really?
it's female comedians, female
Yeah.
actresses, really who love Gilda as much as the people who knew her when they would watch her live on Saturday Night Live. So,
Incredible.
so that's kind of the main thing I want to do with this film is I don't want it to be a biography of Gilda.
Yeah. Oh, well, what is it then? What are you doing with the film that's different?
I wanted to really show the impact that Gilda has on people's life today,
Hmm.
25 years after her
Yeah.
death. So, of course, Gilda has been an amazing influence to so many comedians like
Yeah.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
She's also a big, besides members from Gilda's Club,
Yeah.
she's inspiration to people living with cancer.
Yeah.
She wrote a book called It's Always Something.
Hmm.
And if you read the book, even 20, 25 years later, the way she approached her cancer with her comedy and her humor and
Yeah.
her honesty,
Yeah.
the book really holds up for people who are going through cancer.
That is incredible, and I'm really glad you're capturing that because the spirit at which she kind of came at her life, this kind of all or nothing kind of positive, a way of living. And of course, I didn't know her, but everything that I've seen about her, all her performances, everyone I've ever talked to, she always had this real, almost kind of glowing aura about her, and it was really something. And I got to tell you a story. I was talking to a guy who really wanted to get a guy with a serious issue with cancer going on, who wanted to do comedy, and I was like, "Go do comedy," and he wanted to talk about his experience, and his thing was, and he's involved at Gildas in Toronto, and he was like, "I want to do it at Gildas." I'm like, "Yes, go to Gildas," and you could see how excited he was to be in that atmosphere and also to be doing comedy there like Gilda did. And this is a guy going through a tough time, you know what I mean? So that just none of that would have happened if she hadn't done her work, you know? So there are these wonderful her legacy just kind of radiates out. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing that she was just an amazing woman, and I wish I had met her myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It,
Absolutely. So you're doing an Indiegogo campaign, and we want to mention that for sure because it's you know what, those things are timed and the clock is ticking down. So it's Indigo. How do people find out about this?
you go to Indiegogo.com,
Yeah.
Indiegogo
Hmm.
dot com, and in the upper right-hand side, put in Love
Hmm.
Gilda,
Nice.
and it should take you to the page.
Nice. And who doesn't love Gilda? That's really cool. And when does it finish up?
It finishes on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're having a comedy show in New York on Tuesday. So if
Nice.
anybody's out there, we have a bunch of amazing stand-up comics. We have a raffle with all kinds of Gilda memorabilia. And
Fabulous.
I'm hoping to do a Google Hangout on Thursday.
That will be a ton of fun. I will be there at that Google Hangout as well. I just, on behalf of everybody who knew of Gilda and has been affected by her life, myself included, and I know many, many others, thank you so much for doing this work. It's really important, and people should know about what she did and the positive impact she had. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you, Rob, for having me on your show.
All right, take care. Bye
Okay.
bye.